Tensions escalate further as Gulf nations face fresh concerns over environmental risks in the widening USA-Iran conflict. Satellite images confirm a spreading oil slick near Iran's Kharg Island, raising alarm across nearby Arab coastal states. Experts warn the unidentified leak near Kharg Island could trigger severe environmental and economic disruption across the Gulf. Analysts say the expanding oil slick may drift towards Saudi, Qatari, and UAE shores within days, intensifying regional fears. Fresh satellite images have revealed a massive oil spill spreading near Iran's strategically vital Kharg Island, a key energy hub in the Persian Gulf. Imagery reviewed by the Associated Press shows dark oil traces clearly emerging from the western coastline of Kharg Island. Between May the 6th and 8th, the spill reportedly expanded rapidly, covering an estimated 20 square miles inside the surrounding marine channel. Experts assessing the situation suggest that nearly 80,000 barrels of crude oil may already have leaked into the surrounding waters. The development comes amid the paused but highly tense US-Iran conflict, which continues to raise serious concerns over Gulf maritime security. Kharg Island serves as Iran's most important crude export terminal and remains a critical pillar of the country's oil infrastructure. Nearly 90% of Iran's oil exports pass through Kharg Island, with China identified as one of its major buyers. Earlier developments involving Kharg Island had already intensified fears of potential disruption to Iran's vital oil export network. Maritime analysts believe the spill could be linked to ongoing structural or infrastructure damage at the heavily used export terminal. However, officials and experts note that the exact cause of the oil leakage remains unclear amid continued regional military tensions. Analysts warn that cleanup efforts may be severely complicated due to the unstable security situation in the broader Gulf region. There are growing concerns that the expanding oil slick could drift toward the coastlines of the UAE, Qatar, or Saudi Arabia within weeks. Meanwhile, reports suggest Tehran's oil shipments have been blocked by US naval forces since April 13 under fragile ceasefire arrangement. On May 7th, American and Iranian forces directly exchanged fire for the first time since the April ceasefire agreement. The United States launched what it called self-defense strikes on Iran as explosions rocked Qeshm Island, Sirik, and Bandar Abbas. Reports claim American forces also targeted an Iranian oil tanker and another Iranian vessel near the strategic Gulf waters. In retaliation, Iran launched attacks targeting American destroyers stationed inside the highly sensitive Strait of Hormuz region. Donald Trump accused Iran of behaving irrationally after military tensions and attacks intensified sharply overnight across the Gulf. President Trump claimed 3 American destroyers safely crossed Hormuz despite reportedly facing Iranian missiles, drones, and hostile threats. Trump warned Washington would respond far more aggressively unless Tehran quickly agreed to a deal with the United States. Despite the clashes, Trump insisted the ceasefire remained active and dismissed the strikes as merely a love tap. Meanwhile, Iran claimed its military inflicted damage on American naval assets and forced US warships to retreat from Hormuz. Saudi Arabia warned that any disruption near the Strait of Hormuz could severely impact international supply chains and global commerce. Saudi envoy Abdulaziz Al-Waisal described the Strait of Hormuz as essential for global maritime and economic stability. Abdulaziz Al-Waisal said, and I quote, "Any threat to the freedom of navigation in the strait directly impacts the stability of global markets and international supply chains," unquote. Abdulaziz Al-Waisal warned prolonged instability around Hormuz could trigger serious humanitarian consequences and deepen global economic uncertainty. Saudi Arabia on May 4th issued a formal reaction to the Iranian attacks on the UAE's Fujairah region and nearby US warships, signaling growing alarm in Riyadh over the latest escalation. Riyadh condemned what it described as the first Iranian strike on Gulf countries since the ceasefire came into effect, warning that such actions threaten the entire region's stability. The Iranian attacks took place on the very day that the United States began guiding commercial cargo ships through the Strait of Hormuz under new naval protection mission. The UAE's defense ministry said its air defenses had engaged a total of 15 incoming Iranian missiles and 4 drones on May 4th, intercepting many of them before impact. One of the drone strikes caused a fire at a key oil facility in the Emirate of Fujairah, injuring 3 Indian workers who were present at the site when the blast occurred. In a separate statement, the UK military reported that fires had broken out on board 2 cargo ships off the UAE's coast, believed to be linked to the same wave of attacks. Iranian officials described the strike on Fujairah as a direct consequence of what they called US adventurism, blaming Washington's new naval moves for provoking the confrontation. Sources speaking to Iran state broadcaster IIB said the attack was the product of U.S. adventurism for illegal passage of ships.